the 2022 entry strategy model indicator, which is offered for various platforms on the TradingFinder website. From this section, you can access the indicator on the TradingView website. Additionally, traders can read this page to understand how the indicator works and functions. To access the indicator on the TradingView website, we search for the indicator's name in the Indicators section. And by clicking on the indicator, we execute it on the chart. For quicker and easier access to this indicator, add it to your favorites in TradingView by enabling the Add to Favorites option. Once the indicator is placed on the chart, it begins to identify key liquidity levels on the price chart and displays suitable trading opportunities to traders. The 2022 ICT entry strategy indicator uses ICT concepts to identify key liquidity levels such as the previous day's highs and lows and important trading station levels. It detects a liquidity sweep when the price reaches these levels. For example, here we had a liquidity level, and with the price movement and the collection of liquidity above and below this level, it identified the liquidity sweep level for us. After collecting liquidity and displaying the liquidity sweep, the indicator waits for a break of structure and the formation of an MSS. Here, with the price moving upwards, and in this section, with the price moving downwards. An MSS is formed for us, and a signal for the MSS level break is issued. After that, we wait for the price to return to an FBG zone, which the indicator identifies by marking bearish FBG zones in red and bullish FBG zones in green on the chart. Traders can enter a buy or sell trade in the market if the price returns to these zones. In this section, the price has moved upwards. A liquidity sweep has formed, and then it has moved downwards. After breaking an MSS level, the price moved downwards. And here, with the level breaking upwards, there was a pullback. By hitting the FBG range level, we could have entered a sell trade, or with the price moving downwards and its return, collecting liquidity at this level, we could have entered a sell trade at the 50% level of the FBG range. We would place the stop loss behind the range and the take profit at a lower column, after which we see the price has moved downwards. However, in this range we see that after breaking the MSS level, the price did not manage to reach the FBG range and moved upwards. In the settings section, under the input section, there are options available for us. So, in the first part, we can set the swing identification period, which is set to 50 by default here. In the next section, we can set the swing identification method, where two modes, all and custom, are available, with the default set to all. If you set it to all mode, it considers and identifies all swings. And if you set it to custom mode, you can adjust the number of candles for swing identification in the section below, which is set to 100 by default. In the next section, you can set the length of the FBG period, which is set to 120 candles by default. In the next section, you can set the length of the MSS level, which is set to 80 candles by default. In the subsequent options, in this section, by enabling this option, you can activate a filter for identifying FBG here. If you check this option, in the opposite section you can choose 4 modes for identifying FBG, which include very aggressive, defensive, and very defensive. The further down you select from the top, the stricter the criteria for identifying FBG become, with the default set to defensive. In the next section, you can set the FBG mitigation level, which includes 3 levels: proximal, 50%, OB, and distal. You can choose one of these 3 modes. If you select the proximal mode, it considers the closest level to the price, and if the price reaches the FVG level, it considers the FVG as mitigated and cleared. If you select the proximal mode, it considers the 50% level of the FVG, and if the price reaches the 50% level, it identifies the FVG as mitigated. And if you select the distal mode, it considers the farthest level from the price for consumption, such that the price must consume the entire FVG level to be identified as mitigated. In the next section, you can enable or disable the display of demand FVG and supply FVG, and you can change the FVG range to your desired color. In the following sections, you can enable or disable the display of all levels. Just enable or disable the display of levels. Select the color of its name along with the line color. The status of displaying or not displaying, the low level, name color, and line color. Enable or disable the display of all MSSA. Enable or disable the display of MSS high or low along with the name color and line color. And finally, enable or disable the inputting status line or where you can configure its settings. Well, friends, we have reached the end of this indicator tutorial. We would be happy if you share your comments and suggestions with us in the comments section.